It's kind of like trying to bake your first ever cake and only having the recipe. Quick, give me the recipe and I'll fix it. But how do you break bad habits in practice? Hello, my friend. Edward here, your holistic guide on a mission to provide you with the tools and techniques and understanding to create the world you want to see and step into the life of your dreams. And that's what I call conscious engineering. Today, I want to look at something from another angle that you've heard me talk about a few times now. The thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions, lead to results cycle, and marry this with the habit cycle of cue, craving, response, and reward, courtesy of James Clear and Atomic Habits, to give you a working model for how your personality is formed and fixed. But why do you need this? I've always believed that if you don't understand the fundamentals, you can't hope to begin to fix things. So if you want to change your habits, manifest your X-Pack, or whatever it may be, you need all the tools. It's kind of like trying to bake your first ever cake and only having the recipe. And sadly, this is how a lot of folks approach fixing habits and manifestation. Quick, give me the recipe and I'll fix it. Well, we're not trying to fix the squeaky door, and we don't just need a quick handyman video to get the job done. We need the tools and techniques and understanding how to make it happen. The recipe, the ingredients, and the know-how. Let's take the core cycle. Thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions, lead to results. You understand this by now, at least I hope you do from my earlier work. You have a thought about something which basically causes a series of feelings to arise within you. Now, one or more of these feelings will endure, and this will move the probability needle for the action that you take as a result of it. And I talked about more in my last video here about cause and effect. Now, these actions create the quality of the results that you get. If you're half-hearted, then your results will be half-hearted too. The key thing to know is that the results actually cause a feedback loop which affect your initial thoughts the next time round. If the results are lackluster, your thoughts about it next time will be different too. They may be deflated, and you create a response circuit, a groove as I've referred to it before, that becomes your de facto way of dealing with this situation. And these are your habits. And collectively, they all align to form a temperament, the way you respond to external triggers, though more on that next. And over time, these temperaments build up to your character, which locks in and becomes who you are. Your mind likes to keep things easy and likes these little subroutines to run on autopilot, so it doesn't need to reinvent the wheel every time and figure out what to do. It doesn't matter to the mind that these circuits are substandard or underperforming. It just says, doing this gets this result, and that's okay. Easy. And boom, you're labelled as difficult, temperamental, moody, easy to work with, carefree, anarchic, aggressive, a lone wolf, intuitive, a genius, a dreamer, or many other adjectives that I'm sure you can relate to. I mentioned earlier that the full habit cycle is cue, craving, response, and reward. And this dovetails nicely with our model of habits earlier. The cue, an external trigger like an alert on your phone, walking through your front door of your house, some bad news, Friday at 5 p.m. or Sunday morning or whatever, creates an emotion in you that kick-starts the habit subroutine. Now, Robert Plutchik, an American psychologist and professor, studied human emotions and proposed that there are 8 distinct basic human emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, surprise, acceptance, and anticipation. And these are the most widely accepted definitions of emotions today. The emotion is usually short-lived and then sets in motion your thoughts. Now, you've probably heard that little voice in your head chime in with its opinions about the cue, haven't you? I'm sure you have. Oh, I don't like the way they've said that to me. Or, what's that he's talking about? I don't know what that is. Goodness gracious me, look at the colour of that. Who on earth would want to buy a car in yellow? And other things. Now, these develop into feelings like expectation, resentment, hatred, optimism, contempt, remorse, and so on. These are also often called emotions, just to confuse matters, but are longer lasting and are the key drivers of probability of how you act next. These feelings create cravings, in habit speak, which lead to a response, an action, which then leads to rewards, results. So the emotion is a short-lived trigger, while the feeling is a lingering, feeling. A craving when you walk into your house might be to raid the cookie jar as a reward for surviving another day at the office, or grabbing a glass of wine because you need one to unwind after the day. A craving when your phone pings is to pick it up and check the message, and then find yourself 30 minutes later down the TikTok rabbit hole. The Sunday morning craving might be to hit the snooze, or sleep until lunchtime, or maybe even jump out of bed and go for a long nature walk with a dog. It varies for everybody, and not all of the cravings and therefore habits are positive and support our well-being or create success. Now, these cycles can be formed over time, which is also known as conditioning, and for deep grooves of behaviour, you might think they're completely ingrained, or they can be formed suddenly by imprinting when something dramatic happens and you create an instant and permanent response to the cue. These are often traumas and are a little harder to unpick, but they can be, so don't lose heart. But the weak point in these cycles are the feelings. You might think you have no control over these, but you do. The habit cycles trigger and resolve instantaneously, so you don't need to pause and figure out how to respond. In life or death situations, this is important, but in everything else, it doesn't need to be an instant response. You get to pause. When a cue triggers an emotion that causes the habit to cascade into a result that you're not happy with, and this can be underperformance, avoidance, impetuousness, being fractious or whatever, you get to adjust the feelings and therefore the actions you take to create a new outcome and change the shape of that habit cycle. Your results improve, which improves the way you think about the situation, and this adjusts the feelings. It can take time to change your grooves, so first, make a list of bad habits you want to improve, like raiding the cookie jar or avoiding action because you want to be seen as nice or not cause offence. And slowly you can nudge each one in a new direction by choosing a new feeling when it's triggered. So comment below with your number one habit that you're going to change and make it happen today. Raiding the cookie jar can be helped by replacing it with a bowl of fruit, for example, so you still get the sweet reward, but it's healthy. And 5 PM Friday can be replaced with a trip to the gym before heading to the bar with your buddies. At least you work off the calories before you put them back on. Now, how about I cue you for a boop? Go ahead and boop the like button to show YouTube its valuable content and help it to spread to more seekers just like you. That'd be amazing. Thank you. Now, could I try harder to get these in? I don't think so. But how do you break bad habits in practice? Well, I've laid out the theory and framework today so you've got a good understanding. But watch this video next to learn the practical ways to break your bad habits. And until next time, my friend, live your light.
Hello there.
But so, start again. And this will, they may be, what?